here for our daily mortgage interest rate update and what is going on in the housing market on the East Coast. If we haven't met, my name is Chelsea Winstead. I am a home financing strategist and a mortgage lender. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a flip. I help a lot of people. So I do have a lot of first-time home buyers. However, I help a lot of people sell current homes, use equity from that current home sale to then move into their next home. Sometimes this is empty nesters. Sometimes this is like a growing family. Whatever the case is, I do help a lot of people who are selling their home. Also, I obviously focus on the buying side of things. So I chat with a lot of home buyers. Today's content is going to be on those of you who are selling a home. All right, this is going to be right candid, okay? And it might be a little bit hurtful and painful. So just here we go. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people make when it comes to selling a home is recognizing your realistic competition. I'm speaking specifically to those of you who live in cities and towns that have a lot of new construction happening right now. Y'all, here is the thing. I know that a lot of new builds do not have like the most quality-based products, but there is something, there's two things specifically that you have to be mindful of. Right now, a lot of new construction, especially if you're talking about like Ryan Homes, Lennar, D.R. Horton, they are, first of all, their home prices are super affordable. Second thing is that they often run promotions that bring people in the door because they buy the rate down. So they pad in the cost of building the home, and then they can offer interest rates that are between like 4 and 5% for home buyers. And so for a lot of people, if money is super tight and they want to buy a house, it's like a really easy way for them to go. So what I see a lot of people do is when you sell your home, we don't always take into account, there's two specific things that I think that people need to be mindful of. Number one, you're already competing against, and again, this is for you if you live in a place where there's a lot of new construction. The first thing that you're competing against, and y'all, I see it every day and I lose clients to this all the time, is when you are competing against a new builder, because when you are selling your existing home, you are not able as an existing home owner, and I am not able as a just like standalone mortgage lender. So like I don't specifically work with like Lennar or Ryan. Like I help most people buy existing homes. We cannot offer a home buyer a 4.99% interest rate. Like it's just not something that we can do. Whereas a builder, they play by a different game. They just have different set of rules. So already, number one, we're going to be facing stronger competition, and we're likely going to see a lot of people take more of the easier route when it comes to purchasing a home, and that is going to new construction. So that's like the first thing that we're up against. The second thing is that simply there is something new and shiny about a new house. And if you have a home that you've lived in, and especially if it's more than like 1 to 2 years old, there's likely going to be components of your home that are dated. And so your price point, you really have to be in comparison to these new construction homes. A thing I know a lot about is people say, oh, well, you know, like my property, this is unique to it, or it's not a cookie cutter build, or we have a way bigger piece of property. But y'all, again, we're already facing the fact that like rates are not going to be as low as a new construction most of the time. The other thing that we are facing is just the sheer difference between the aesthetics. And it sounds really silly, but aesthetics really matter to homeowners. That is why a lot of the time when you sell your home, your listing agent should go through a whole process with you where you do like a checklist and you probably get your home prepared and ready to list. Sometimes this is fixing things. Sometimes this is painting things. You're really trying to put the best showcasing that you can on your property. So if down the street from you, there's new construction going on that has the new kitchen, that has the new countertops, that has the new bathrooms, that has the updated flooring, that doesn't have the old carpet, you have to keep those things in mind. I'm even talking about fans. Are they new? Are they old? What color are your walls? How old are like your fixtures, like your light fixtures in the bathroom? What about the mirrors? What about, you know, the fixtures in the bathtub? Like what kind of shower heads do you have? All of this sounds silly, but when people buy a home, either they're choosing to buy something brand new where they don't have to worry about like upgrading a bunch of things, or if you have an existing home and there are some elements that are not upgraded, you are going to really have to price yourself in a way that would make somebody pick your home over a new construction house. So just to be straight up and honest with you, a lot of the time that means taking a realistic look at your property versus these brand new homes and literally making a list of shit that is outdated. List them out and figure out what it would cost for someone to make these upgrades. The reason I say this is because I talk with a lot of buyers, and when they are in between going with an existing build and when they are going between a new build, that's a huge conversation they have. And fair enough, right? They're thinking, okay, so either I can move into this new house and I don't have to do any of these things, but it's going to cost a little bit more money, or I can move into this older home, but there has to be a reason why they're going to pick an older home versus a new construction. I will tell you, the one thing that will convince them is the price point. The other thing, and I have said this many a times, a lot of the time builders are willing and do cover closing cost for their buyers. So while we can't always give them a super low interest rate, I would highly, especially y'all if you are motivated to sell. Like if you're trying to sell to make some cash and you're not really in a hurry, this video doesn't really apply to you. But if you have things going on in your life where you need to sell your home, maybe you're buying the new house, maybe again, you're downsizing, you're upsizing, whatever the case is. If you need to sell your home, two things that I think you really need to make sure you're doing. Number one, if you are, again, in a new construction comparison, you need to make a list of the things that are outdated in your home. Get a freaking quote from a contractor. Get somebody to come in and give you a quote. If they upgraded all these things, what would it cost? Realistically, you probably need to price your home in a way where you are subtracting the cost of those upgrades from the purchase price that you were asked. Because y'all, if given a choice for somebody to buy your home in a brand new home for the same price or pretty close, the new construction is probably going to win every single time. The reason that I say that too, I look at these monthly reports that come out every month. New construction sales right now are crushing existing home sales. And I think it's also because during the years of 2020 to 2023, home values exponentially increased, and we are coming on the tail, we're coming off of that tail. That is no longer a thing that is happening as much, but I think people are still trying to squeeze as much equity out of their current home as they can. But the reality is that if you are motivated to sell, the two things you need to most likely do, number one, be very realistic with yourself and literally go and look at on Zillow in your hometown or wherever you're selling your house and look up the new construction, look at the price point and look at everything that they have. You need to compare that to your current home and be realistic. Are your cabinets old and outdated? Are your appliances old and outdated? What do your blinds look like? What do your fans look like? What do your floors look like? What do your walls look like? What do your bathrooms look like? You have to take account for those things. And if a majority of those things are outdated, or however many of them are outdated, you need to get a quote for what it would cost for somebody to be able to do those things. And painful or not, you probably need to subtract that off of the purchase price of your home if you want somebody to pick your older existing home over a brand new construction. Because y'all, if they were priced the same, think of it, what would you buy? You'd probably buy the new construction. So that's number one from a pricing perspective. Number two, and I've been saying this time and time again, if you want to compete with new construction homes that are in your area, you probably need to go ahead and assume and offer to pay for closing costs. While this may sound a bit defeating, I think somebody's got to be real with y'all. And a lot of people that I talk to have homes sitting on the market between 30 and 60 days, sometimes even more. So if you need to sell your home for real, those are my two not fun, but realistic recommendations on how to actually get your house sold, especially if you are competing with new construction in the place that you live. As always, if you're looking to buy on the East Coast and you want support this year, I would love to help you. Comments are always open for questions, and my DMs are always open to have a conversation. All right, y'all, happy Sunday. See you tomorrow.